Hello and welcome to the Fairbanks Year-Round Podcast. We've got another solo episode. I wish to apologize for these, as I spoke about briefly on the last podcast. I do have a baby on the way, so if you're watching this, it probably means the baby's here, so you can send your cash and other gifts my way. And just kidding, of course, but short notice, hard to get guests on and different things, so we're going to stack back a few of these solo episodes. And today I wanted to talk about, because it's been on my mind, discipline. And the quote that I heard that I really, really like, and I've been using more and more in my own life, is I'm unconcerned with my wants and desires and the things that I don't want. I'm stretching this out because I can't remember the exact quote. I'm only concerned with what needs to be done. I get done what needs to be done. So I should probably shorten that up to make it sound better, but I'm not worried about my wants and desires. I'm only, I get done what needs to be done for the day. So this has been something I've been thinking about a lot and really living by these past few weeks in my life in general, from working out to selling real estate to my family interactions and all the different things that could come across. But I wanted to relate this to Fairbanks, and I wanted to relate this to selling your home. So having discipline in selling your home. So when you hire a real estate agent, which I recommend to sell your house, they do take a lot of the stress, not all, just being honest, can't take all the stress, but they take as much stress as possible off of the selling process for you. But there's a lot of things that the agent cannot do. So I was just hearing this concept. A different agent I was listening to a podcast about was talking about the 3 spheres. And on the one side, we'll say the bottom left side sphere, is all the things the agent can do to sell your house. Marketing, getting great photos, having conversations, blah, 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 all the different things that we're going to do, as well as all the different items we do to make the deal smooth for you. On the right bottom side of that triangle of spheres is all the things the seller are going to do, which we're going to get to in a sec. And at the very top are the things that are out of both of our controls. The market is, we don't get to decide what the market is, what the offers we're going to get in. We don't get to decide who writes the offers and things like that. So there's a lot of items there, which I think would be a very interesting podcast. But as you can tell by how general I'm being, I need to really hone in on each individual item. So I think I'm going to do that in the future in one of these solo episodes. You can look forward to that because, I do think it's an important concept to know what you can control, what your agent can control, and what's outside of the agent's control. So now on the things that you can control in relation to discipline, and we'll just start at the beginning here. Let's talk about getting it ready for photos. So getting your house cleaned up, and we've talked about this previously. So if you want to hear a podcast on getting your house photo ready or show ready, do that for all the little details. But in general, you're getting it cleaned and presentable. That is the goal. And there's a lot of little things you can do to make it look better. And this can be a very difficult thing to do because how you live in your house and how you sell a house are 2 very different things. So it's going to be a much higher level of cleanliness and a lot less items out and about for most people, which is totally normal. If you're living in your house and you're not mopping the floors every day, I think that's pretty standard, so don't worry about it. But when you are getting photos or when you're doing showings, it can be pretty tough to have all that done all the time. So this is the first moment of when you'll have to have some discipline. This is going to be easier or harder for some people. Some people are like, what difference does it make if there's a little bit of a schmutz on the carpet or this or that has gone on? It makes a real big difference on your purchase price. So having the discipline to keep things ready for show readiness. The next item, and I totally get this, being a real estate agent is having your schedule change like on a dime, it feels like sometimes, and having to work evenings and weekends. Getting that showing request come in, it is very easy for you to want to say no. Like that's usually the easiest option. Of course, you need to say yes, and you need to say yes to as much of them as you can. There's going to be times where you have to say no, but you want to minimize those as much as possible and don't make excuses for reasons to say no. Like, oh, this is one of those times where I have to say no. Most likely it's not. And it is easy to get frustrated at the agents or the buyers. Like, why do they give us more notice? And we can set things up, just so you guys know. You don't have to leave things open for everybody, but you can set things up to where, hey, we need 24 hours notice ahead of time, or 48 hours if you really need a lot of leeway. Or some people are ready and able to get out quick and have things ready to go within 4 hours or 2 hours. Or if it's a vacant house, of course, sometimes it's like, hey, there's no lead time at all necessary. You can get in there as quick as you'd like, with permission, of course, still. But accessibility is a huge part of selling a house for the top price. If you don't have your house as accessible as possible, it will limit the amount of showings. And when you limit the amount of showings, you limit the amount of offers you're going to get. It's all a numbers game. So we are trying to get as much marketing out there to get as many people through the door to get you as many offers as possible. So that's your first bit of discipline. Again, remembering we do the things that need to be done. We don't worry if we want to or don't want to. No, I don't want to get all the kids into the car at 6 o'clock at night and have to drive around or go eat at a restaurant or whatever until 8 because we're waiting on a few showings to happen. I don't want to do that, but I do what needs to be done. And in that concept, you can try and make things as fun as possible. If you have kids and you're in that exact situation, it's my kids don't get out that late very often. Personally, we're usually at home by 6 or so. In most days, and so make it kind of fun. So if it's a late night, instead of being frustrated, if you can help it, why don't you make it more fun for your kids, make it more fun for yourself, and have a late night park play date or whatever it could be. So from there, let's also talk about the offering process. It can be a little bit frustrating, especially with multiple offers, but that is made a lot easier by the agent. Depending on the agent, it's made easier by me, at least, simplifying things out and give you clear options of which offer you'd like to go with. From there, once you're in contract, you do need the discipline of getting it ready to be moved out. So this is happening the whole time. So I'm going to come back to it at the end. But the more important and pressing one is going to be repairs. So if you have repairs that need to be done, those can be pretty tough. And again, if you're doing them yourself, an agent such as myself, if you're paying for contractors and stuff, we're happy to line those up and take those things off of your plate. But if you want to do those or have your own connections, or you're going to do your own repairs, getting those done. And I like to be honest, I like to do the inspections before we even list. So either before you list, or if this is in contract, getting those repairs done obviously takes discipline. Home projects are fun for some and not so much for others. And a lot of times these repair items aren't like fun projects, like building a deck or things like that. It's like, all right, you got to scrape the paint off the deck and repaint it or reseal it. So that is not as fun, obviously. But so having the discipline there to know what needs to be done. If you do it before inspection, that can be a discussion with your agent as far as what repair items should be done for the best sale and best return on investments. I've had a lot of sellers who they just want to fix everything. They want their house to be in the perfect condition, which is not always advisable, but it certainly does not hurt a sale. And if you're one of those sellers, then you might not need so much discipline if you just feel this drive to have the perfect house that could just come to you naturally. But if you are in contract and you have buyers that are asking for specific items and you've agreed to repair those items, then getting them done in a timely manner takes that discipline, and just keep pushing forward. Little tips on that, which you probably won't need, but just getting a little bit done each day is going to be the way to go. Just like if you're doing a school project. If you've got repairs and you get home at night and you have 2 hours to do something, take those 2 hours and get as far as you can. Try not to stress yourself out on getting stuff done. I'm very, this happens to me a lot with projects. I have a timeline in my head, and it's always half the time of what I actually need to do it. So I'm trying to be better about just doing as much as I can with the time I have. And I'm a careful builder because I'm not a very good builder, and I've not done it so many times that I like to think through each step to the end to make sure I'm not screwing myself up, hours later or days later when I hit that other step, which has worked out pretty good for me. But it does mean sometimes I just stare. I'm building a woodshed right now, and I've found myself just 10, 15 minutes just kind of staring at the shed itself and kind of just mulling things over in my head. But that is what it is. At the end of the day, the woodshed will be done. well, not literally, because it wasn't done the end of that day, but at the end of the month, I guess I could say it'll be done. I'll get the thing worked out. So anyways, try not to overly stress yourself. And if it's not feasible for you to do repairs, again, let us help you get someone in there to get those repairs done if you've already agreed to have them done, because you are contractually obligated. Of course, the next item is going to be getting yourself moved out, which is not fun. Moving out and moving in, we'll just put it all in conglomeration. And there's going to be a bunch of little things to do. And I'm just picking up these hard points in a contract that I want people to be prepared for. And just, again, realize, hey, I do what needs to be done. I do what needs to be done. I'm not even worried about what I want to do or what I don't want to do. What needs to be done to get this house to sell for the best price and for me to walk away with as much as possible. And these are some of the big items. There's going to be some other little items as well, I'm sure. The moving process can be pretty tough, and there's so many variety of ways to do it. Some people sell all their stuff off, and wherever they're moving to, they buy it again. Some people pack all their own stuff. Some people pay for a moving company, which is probably the easiest. You could, on the selling side, you could probably pay an auction company if you wanted to auction everything off. That's not super common. That usually you see that in like an estate sale when your family members are taking care of your belongings that were left after you passed. That is pretty common. But again, yeah, just knowing that, hey, you're going to have to get moving, and the same thing with repairs. Just be working on it from the time you get the contract, because you want the house to be staged as nice as possible. So you can be packing up things that are in closets that don't add to the staging. You can do that as soon as you like, and you want to have that stuff moved out of your house anyways. But yeah, once you're under contract, especially, just, if it's 30 minutes a day is all you had, then it's going to make it way easier than trying to pack up the last weekend. I've come to so many people's houses, not as a real estate agent, as a friend. They're like, hey, can you help us move? I was like, all right. And I always tell them, like, hey, get the stuff packed. I want to pick up boxes, put them in the truck for you. I'm like happy to help. I don't want to pack your stuff. I don't know where your stuff goes. Like, it's a whole decision-making process that I don't really want to be a part of. I want to be the dumb muscle, basically. But you get there and they've got like 3 boxes packed, because I think they expected it to be quicker. But everything takes time. So moving in, moving out, that is, just keep pushing forward. Just like anything else, do as much as you can when you can. And just know that it's going to be hard work, and your evenings are going to be taken up, unless you pay someone to do it, which is totally fine. Excuse me. Now let's talk about buying. Generally, when you're selling your house, you're going to be buying a house as well, no matter where it is. And this is easier or harder for some people. The searching process can be a little tough. We'll put it together with the searchings and the showings. So pretty much anybody you work with, any agent anywhere, is going to be sending you listings, I would assume, of houses that they think that you'll like. So that's your first bit of discipline. Yes, I'm going to look at each and every house. And you don't have to look at every single detail. If you see a house and you don't like the area, just toss it out. But don't get lazy, and mine come through email. And I have a lot of people who just kind of lose the motivation, and they don't look at the houses, and they'll miss a deal, because our market is still a seller's market and things are moving fast. So yeah, just keep an eye on that, and to whatever degree it is. Again, I know you've got other stuff going on. So if it's checking it once a day so it's feasible, just stick to it. If it's like, I can only really check every third day, then, do the best you can. Know that maybe you'll miss a deal every now and again, because you have time to set up a showing. You have to get your stuff all ready to write the offer. And, if you take too long, some houses can go. So just know your limitations, but be willing to push as much as you can. And then you kind of have the reverse side of the buying process. Oh, excuse me, I did skip the showings. Showings can be tough too, because they take up they're going to take up more of your free time. I find most people like showings. So this one usually is not a discipline problem. You can get tired of looking and searching, and the whole process can be demoralizing if you've written offers and they've not been accepted. You got beat by other people, whatever it can be. So just keep pushing through. If these things do get tedious, if your goals are to get a new house, don't give up on the goal, because it is possible in most cases. If it's not possible, if you're looking for the wrong house in the wrong price range or something, your agent should be telling you that. But yeah, if it's possible, then keep pushing. It's going to happen. You only need one house. That's one thing I do like to point out. A lot of people, they miss the deal, or nothing's much coming up that they like. I was like, listen, it just takes one. Just takes one house that's going to fit you just like you like in your price range. So again, most times that is possible. sometimes you do have to change your expectations because what you want is not possible, or you may be waiting a long time. Like, hey, that thing could pop up that you really want, but maybe you have to wait 3 years. Are you willing to wait 3 years? Maybe you are. But what's the market going to look like in 3 years? Are you going to still be able to afford that house? I don't know. So something to think about. Then, yeah, and then you're in contract. Of course, you're selling your house, hopefully on the other end, and dealing with all the moving and stuff. And yeah, the last, I'll say the last, unless something else occurs to me, the last big item would be the lending process is pretty frustrating, and all the paperwork and the back and forth. And I just gave you this. You asked for this last week. It's like, well, we need to update it, or whatever the reasons may be. Hopefully you're not sending the same thing over and over. That has happened with some lenders. I try to weed those out if I can help you with that. I think that's pretty much it. So sticking with it, and hopefully that's helpful. These are kind of just things more like, hey, here's what you can look forward to. And again, the mindset to have is like, hey, I do it. Like, this thing needs to be done for this sale. And this is me telling you these items that need to be done, they're going to have to be done. So we're past the point of like, should we do this or should we not? Do I want to do this? Do I not want to do this? It doesn't even matter. If they have to be done, you do. It has to be done. And again, these are a lot of items. I know it's over a large span, but your agent should be taking a bunch of those items off your table. Not the ones we spoke about, but the things that they're in their control. So you don't have to have the discipline on those ones. It's falling to a different member of the team, which would be your agent. So anyways, hope that's helpful, and you can use that in life too. Do what needs to be done. I think I don't get chill bumps when I say it. I wish, but it's like when I heard it, I was like, man, that's right. I'm unconcerned with my wants and desires. I do what needs to get done. That should be true every day for everybody, because it's easy to talk yourself out of doing things such as working out, where you're like, do I feel like it? I kind of want to sleep in. I didn't sleep good. It's like, nope, I get it done. I didn't sleep good. That's fine. I get it done. So anyways, I will see you on the next one. Bye. Hey there. Thank you so much for listening. If you want more content from AK Blake, you can find me on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, all under the handles AK Blake. Or if you want to listen to more podcasts, anywhere you get your podcasts, it's there, Fairbanks year-round. You may or may not know, I am a local real estate agent here in Fairbanks with the Summit Realty Group. So if you like what I'm doing and you want to move to the area, you already live in the area, or you're looking to invest further into real estate in the area, you can reach me. Probably the best will be either my website, akblake.com, my email, blake@akblake.com, or my phone number is probably the fastest, 907-651-8356. You can call or text. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next one.